thought I'd just drop in and...
Rise up to the fight. One love, one life for the revolution. Rise up and unite. Woo! Rise up. Rise up and
If you take England, Scotland and Wales and a portion of Ireland and you reshape it and you put it into Colorado and then you add 96 plus professional clubs, you get a certain sense of rivalry. In the northeast of England, you've got tremendous rivalry. If you're born and raised a Geordie and you happen to play for your local hometown club in front of the Toon Army at St James's Park, it's something special. On Sporting Denver today, we're pleased to be with Peter Ramage. That's done all of the above on that. Peter, welcome to the show and thanks for dropping in.
No worries, thanks Rich. Thanks for having us on.
Just briefly explain, mate, that's not Newcastle behind you.
I wish it was. It's a little bit different out over here than it is back home. There's not blue skies back home, put it that way.
I've read the weather report, mate. So
yeah, I'm sitting here. So obviously I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm sitting here. It's 105. Just checked my phone. It's not even 50 in Newcastle right now. So yeah, stark contrast, to say the least.
Don't leave your phone in the sun in Arizona.
No.
Don't leave it in the rain in Newcastle, mate.
Exactly.
Hey, once again, thanks, mate. Can you explain what's the Toon Army, mate? How does that work?
Toon Army is it's a collection of wonderful people who are born and raised supporting the black and white Newcastle United. It's what we're known as, the Toon Army, the Geordies. It's just obviously our nickname for our support. It's a wonderful part of the world. It's like you just said, who's brought up on rivalry. So we at Newcastle are obviously the Geordies. We've got the Sunderland down the road, or the Mackhams.
Yeah.
And then we've got just a little bit further down the road, you've got the Smoggies from Middlesbrough, from Teesside. So the three of us up north, we have a good rivalry, good banter. I've got family members who are Middlesbrough fans, Sunderland fans, Newcastle fans, and we all, whilst we're all kind of want to win and beat each other, we all have a love and a passion for football.
The rivalry there, Pete, is tremendous, but that's predominantly only on a bit of banter and certainly on match day, right?
Correct. Yeah, it is. I mean, every Monday to Friday, you'll be fine. You wake up on Saturday morning, if it's Derby day, you won't speak to whoever it is, whether it's your cousin, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle. Interestingly, I only found my granddad. My granddad passed away when I was, I think I was just shy of 27, 28-year-old. For all them 27 years or 28 years, whatever it was, he kept a closet. That he was a closet Mackham. He was a closet Sunderland fan. Never once used to come and watch me at St James's Park playing for Newcastle. Would cheer when we won and things like that. It was only on his deathbed he told me he was a Mackham to my almighty disgust, shall we say.
A black cat, right?
Yeah, black cat.
There
black
you go.
Cat. He was the black sheep of the family, so he had to be a black cat.
Hey, Pete, you got a pathway of coaching now, mate.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to just let all our followers know, mate, exactly, we know you're in Phoenix, Arizona, mate. Let us know what you're doing there right now, mate.
Yeah, so currently I'm one of the assistant coaches at Phoenix Rising, which is obviously a team in the USL. We have a progression to get into the academy, which, I'm going to potentially look to move into as well. So I have kind of dual role, but my current role is just to assist and plan, prepare sessions Monday to Friday, as all the coaches do for a game day on Saturday. So it's like I said, it's a wonderful part of the world that we're in. It's a great club for me to begin my coaching pathway. I think this is our 4th year. Obviously, like the picture showed there, I played here my last professional career, so I have somewhat of an affinity to the club. So to come back and begin my coaching path in senior football certainly was an opportunity too good to turn down.
I'm going to ask you a 2-part question. The first one is, what's your day look like now under the current circumstances, Peter, with your coaching and your role in there?
So at this moment in time, we've just moved to kind of phase 2. So we are now in groups of 10, still non-contact. Obviously, we're allowed to, pass and move and share the balls and things like that. So it's like today, for argument, for example, we had a kind of a speed agility day, where we've done a lot of speed shooting drills. Then we worked and branched off into somewhat of a little kind of rondos, sort of social distancing rondos that we've came up with, and then we done the guys done a kind of like an individualized physical circuit. So different days, trying to fit in with the physical periodization as well as the technical tactical. It's been difficult. We're now into week 5 of non-contact, and the guys are champing at the bit to put the shin guards on and start two-footing each other. But it's been great. They understand the rules and regulations that is set by not only the league but the local authorities, and it's not just happening obviously here in Phoenix. It's nationwide and certainly in the USL. So we've been fortunate enough to be back for, like I said, that we're into week 5, but some of the clubs haven't been in. They're just beginning this week. So hopefully this will help us when the season starts again on July the 11th.
So you've shifted all the knowledge and licensing you've got into readapting to readapting to what you've got to do right now. What has that taught you with your education process, in coaching, Peter?
Good question. That you kind of have to work on the fly in terms of just almost be more imaginative with your sessions, be creative. Like I said, the guys, they just want to play football. They want a 5-a-side. They want a round robin, but obviously we haven't been able to do that. So now you have to engage their attention by just putting on specific drills that are going to be fun, that they're going to get the desired physical effects of physical numbers that you require, as well as the technical and tactical. So when it does come to the point where we can start having 5-a-sides, that it's not all gung ho and blood and thunder, that there's going to be somewhat of a bedding in period that's going to enable them to be able to do that. So it's been great, and for me it's been and Blair Gavin, who I work alongside as the assistant, and Rick Shantz, the head coach. It's been great for us.
Sure.
It's got the 3 of us to try and just try things. The guys know that we've got to try. It's been as hard for the guys. It's been hard for us coaching staff as it has been for the guys, and they've been great to bear with us. And some sessions have worked, some haven't. But that's part and parcel of learning, I suppose.
I think that's player-coach relationship and just you're learning as you go, Peter, almost, aren't you?
Correct. Yeah, we are, and that's a good thing, because now we've come up with some sessions that we'll be able to take into the season when we are allowed contact, that we can just kind of maybe differ the dimensions or just tweak the rules here or there. But the kind of the foundations of a drill have been worked upon in this period of time to being able to go back to and revisit later down the season or even into next season, whenever it may be. That we obviously, like most coaches do, we catalog everything, and so everything will be there for us to kind of revisit.
I think taking a positive out of the current circumstances, you mentioned catalogue. I think it's become thicker now for when you can actually get out there and try it, test it, train it,
Correct, and that's the thing. Again, it's like I just said. We've put on sessions today. Well, we put on a session today. In fact, a speed drill. It didn't work, but it actually did work because we tweaked it a little bit. So the first rotation didn't work. We made a slight adjustment, and we got the desired effect thereafter. So
Right.
it's just. And again, we're blessed to have a group of players who understand the difficulties that us coaching staff are under. Again, you talked about the kind of the player-coach relationship. We're transparent with the players. We let them know what's coming up in the day ahead, and we can just say, listen, this is what we're trying to get. You're gonna have to bear with us. Some of the sessions have just, we've blown out the water because it's just been too good, or some of them they've been rubbish. But the players understand that maybe somewhere down the line, and this is where sometimes you can get a response, and I believe it's great to have that player coach interaction. Why didn't it work? Maybe it was us, maybe it was the players, maybe it was the size, maybe whatever it was. You can have that dialogue to all help each other to become better.
Of course. When did you, obviously you were playing, we'll touch on your playing career a bit later, Peter. When did you first realise that you actually thought, I'm playing, I'm thinking about going into coaching, I'm going to follow that pathway? When did that first arise in your mind, Pete?
For me, it was from real early. I began my B licence when I was at Newcastle, when I was about 19-year-old. I didn't follow through with it at that time because I started to break into the first team, and your concentration goes towards that.
Correct.
But then I had a second ACL injury, and the second time I done it was at QPR, and my wife at the time was down the road or up the road in Newcastle, and so I had a lot of time on my hands at QPR, so I started again.
Sure.
I began my B licence, and I just got a love for it. So as I was coming back to full fitness, I was going out in the evenings, training with the youth team, working through my licenses, and I just got the bug for it.
Yeah.
And then Crystal Palace, I began my A license, and again worked with Ben Garner, who was the academy coach at the time there, and Gary Izzet. Ben then moved into the first team, so spend a lot of time with them guys, just working on sessions and trying to figure out how to put everything together from a Monday to Friday to make sure you get what you need on a Saturday to go out and win games. And I just loved the process. I loved the ability to try and work on sessions from a team perspective, from the unit's perspective, and then from the individual side of things. And so probably from about 26, 27, I realised that coaching was what I wanted to do.
You were going through the process then of your education, your licensing. Did you ever find yourself when you're out there on the pitch, right, running through a few things, thinking, "Hang on a minute"? I know you probably didn't have time to think about that, but did it ever cross your mind? Yeah,
it did. And I had a 2-year loan spell at Barnsley, and it was when I went to Barnsley and I was sat and started chatting with firstly Danny Wilson was the manager who took me there. We'd go and sit and chat in the office about, games, things like that. I was going through my A license at that time. I'd moved from Palace to Barnsley, and I was still doing my A license. So I spoke to Danny and asking him about things. And then more so when Lee Johnson came in, a young coach. He was only, I think, me and Lee Johnson were around about the same age. I'd played against him for many a year. And, I'd ask him, why did you put this session on? What were you looking to get? Why did you have me doing this? Why did you have me doing that? And just asking questions and picking his brain. And sometimes I didn't get the answers that I wanted to hear from the player perspective, but you get an understanding from the coach's perspective. And it was great, and it was a real benefit to me at that moment in time through my kind of time when I was trying to learn. Again, I was coming up to 30-year-old then, so I was starting to think more about what I was going to do when I finished playing, and to take notes from these guys who are managing at the highest level and have managed at the highest level was an education that I was blessed to have.
I've been through my A licence myself long time ago. That was when TV was in black and white, and there was only 2 channels, mate. BBC and ITV. That was it, mate. Did you get slaughtered by anybody? No names. because I got slaughtered anyway on a couple of them, and I think it was sort of the right thing to. When I say slaughtered, it was like
Yeah.
yeah. Did you ever get like a because they don't give anything away on that. You've got to be spot on. Did you ever get sort of, taken aback a little bit by some, part of the education system, whoever that may be? No names.
I wouldn't say slaughtered. I got my, I think it was my pre-exam, on-field exam, got literally dissected.
That's a better word, mate.
Yeah, I
all
got
right.
it dissected, and it was,
Right.
but it was brilliant because, to be brutally honest with you, I even as a player, I responded better to criticism, constructive criticism, than I did to praise. If you were
Gotcha.
praising me, then yeah, okay, so it's fine. But that's not going to help me learn.
Right.
Help me learn is telling me what yes, okay, I like that. Everybody likes being praised, but I responded as a player to constructive criticism. I didn't mind a rollicking every now and then, especially of some of the managers that I've played under. But I gave as good as I got, and that helped me and one of the things that helped me in that process when I was getting dissected, that I was able to hold a conversation and explain why I did this. But then when I went into my final practical, like you probably know yourself, Rich, it's like taking your driver's license. You just do what you're told, and then just to get through the process somewhat. But it was great that I learn more from sessions on the field that
Yeah.
don't work than I do from sessions that work.
I think that's vital. Just engaging yourself in your own development and self-critique, Peter,
Yeah.
to evolve.
Well, one of my biggest, values and beliefs is, is courage. Having the courage to take yourself out of your comfort zone and make yourself vulnerable. And that might be in terms of criticism, having the courage to take bad or poor feedback. Your session wasn't right. Well, no point in sitting and arguing it.
No.
Why wasn't it right? Okay, yeah, I'll take that point. And then the next time you go out and do the same session with them points and it works, you think, hang on a second, okay. But then having the courage to try something new, don't just go back to the same sessions. Something obviously here at Phoenix, we don't like to do the same sessions twice. Even if the session itself looks the same, it might be just one rule change, or it might be a yard here or a yard there, or you might just replace them. But trying to keep learning and keep developing, and to do that, you have to be able to have the courage to take yourself out of your comfort zone, and doing that, you have to be able to take honest and constructive criticism and feedback.
I think that's vital. And am I correct in saying this is your first coaching position? Is that right, Peter?
No, second.
Okay.
My first, when I retired here in Phoenix, I basically jumped on a plane, went back to the glorious northeast of England, stuck on a big coat, and was out in the academy coaching the under-13s at Newcastle United. So I kind of began my coaching experience there. I had 10 months in the academy before kind of a call out of the blue from Rick to come back out to Phoenix. Patrice Carteron, who was the manager in my final year, he left for pastures new. Rick got the job on an interim and needed some help, and at that time it was kind of a 3-month gig. I didn't know how it was going to go, so I kind of took myself out of my own comfort zone.
Yeah.
Jumped on a plane, came back out, and we had a pretty successful second half to the season, and what was it, 2018, and then I've been here since.
Sure. What's it? I said I'd come back to your playing career, Peter. What's it walking out for your first game at St James's Park, full house in front of the Toon?
Yeah, that was. It's the age-old saying. It was a dream come true. You know, like we alluded to before, I'm Newcastle born and bred. Cut me in half, and I'm black in one half, white the other half. So to come through the academy system, I joined when I was 11 year old. Came through all the age groups, played in the youth teams, reserves, and then to finally walk out at St James's Park, to the local hero, in front of all my friends, family, and 52,000 people was
Sure.
that was something that I dreamt of as a kid, and if I only made one appearance would be more than I ever thought I was going to make, and I managed to go on and make 60 odd appearances for the club at in the Premier League and Europe. So yeah, to walk out in front of that fans in that stadium was it was pretty special.
When were you told you were going to make your debut, Peter? How did that pan out before you walked out at St James's?
Uh, so I made my debut in the UEFA Cup against Olympiacos. That was my kind of debut. I was on the bench and I came off. Came on, sorry, after 65 minutes. But then my Premier League debut, I made it at Old Trafford against Man United, and
That's not
that
bad.
was my first start as well. So that was kind of a baptism of fire, was to play my first Premier League game at the Theatre of Dreams. But I was told kind of the day before, get yourself ready. You start, and had no real time to kind of bed myself in. It was just get yourself out there and enjoy the occasion. At the time, we were having a bit of an injury crisis, and we I think we had Stephen Carr, who's obviously the right back, used to play for Tottenham, playing
Sure.
in the middle of the park. I had Robbie Elliott, I think it was a left back, playing centre back, and then me myself, I was a centre back.
Yeah.
Coming through the ranks, was told you're going to play right back, and the task today was to mark Ryan Giggs. So I was like,
Not bad.
yeah, cheers, all the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was great because like I said, we were on a high and nothing. We were in somewhat of an injury crisis. We went to Old Trafford, and unfortunately we got beat 2-1 on the day. But it was a great occasion for me to finally play in the Premier League for the club I support against arguably one of the best teams in Europe, if not the world.
Right, absolutely. A friend of ours asked me to ask you about an assist for Wayne Rooney, but I'm not going to go down that road, Peter, because we'll discuss that over some fish and chips when we're back in Newcastle, mate. All right, so we'll leave that one for behind the scenes, mate. Okay. Hey, you've played for several teams, had a fantastic career, Peter. You've worked for some great managers and been involved with several coaches. What are a couple of the biggest things that you've taken from your learning capacity from those managers and coaches into what you're doing now? Anything stand out for you, Peter?
You already have. You saw it. We saw it. Yeah.
Pete, I lost you a little bit on some of that, my friend. Can you give me a thumbs up to see? Can you hear me, mate? Okay, brilliant. I'm going to throw another little question out to you. I can hear you now, Peter. That's fantastic. Another little question out to you there. If you could pick, you know, your favourite stadium you've played in as a player, which one would it be, mate? You can't have St James's because
Yeah, I
that
think
would
we
be a
just
definite.
alluded to before. It's the player coach relationship. I mean, I think it's a big plus for me at this moment in time is that I'm not long retired, so I kind of understand where players' mindset is in certain things. But the biggest education I got from that was from Sir Bobby Robson. I mean, at the time he
Right.
was not in his 70s. He was certainly knocking on 70-year-old, but he had an incredible way of understanding each player, from a 70-year-old kid in the youth team to a 37-year-old experienced pro coming to the end of his career. He was just absolutely incredible, and a wonderful manager to learn my trade under. Me being a local boy, he knew everything about me. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah, it would be a definite. No, the best stadium in it. I say this, I get asked this question quite often. It was Goodison Park, playing against Everton. I loved walking out to the theme tune. I can't remember what it is.
Z cars.
It's somewhat reminiscent of walking up a local hero at Newcastle. Just the fans, the passionate fans that they have. Uh, it was just a traditional English ground. I just loved playing there. Played there on a number of occasions, and didn't have a great record there, but always used to enjoy going and playing at Goodison Park.
And of course, it's still there across from Stanley Park from Anfield. And as it is, it's I suppose an icon of stadiums that are still in existence in the UK. Well, in England. Hey Pete, I'm going to move on. I normally do a quick fire 5 questions to all the guests. Some interesting answers have come along the way, Peter. So here we go, my friend. What boots did you play in? I'm gonna I'm gonna fire a question again. I think Anthony behind the scenes will deal with the technical side of it, and whether it comes back. What boots do you coach in? I think we're a little bit stuck here. I can't. Oh, I can think I can hear you now. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we do have some technical difficulties here, but I'm going to catch up with Peter at a later date because there's things I would like to know on the quick fire five. So right now, unfortunately, with the technical difficulties that we are in with at the moment, I'm going to give Peter a fantastic wave and say thank you very much, and we must catch up later and slot this in. Peter, apologies for the technical difficulties. You take care, my friend, and regards and best wishes to the family. Thank you.